Every day, traders from around the world ask us the same question. Which is the best prop firm of 2026? With so many different firms out there with different rules, payout structures, and trading conditions, it can be hard to choose the right one for you. That's why we started this series breaking down the top firms 100% unbiased from real trader feedback. In this video, we're looking at the most popular firms voted by traders. The firms we're going to be looking at is FundingPips, The5ers, and FundedNext. And be sure to stay to the end of the video because we're going to be doing a giveaway and you're not going to want to miss how to enter. To keep everything fair, we're going to be comparing the FundedPips 100K standard account, the 5ers 100K high stakes account, and the 100K FundedNext Stellar Light account. Now, the profit target for FundingPips, you need to reach 8% in the first phase and then 5% in the second phase. For the 5er, it's the same. You need to reach that 8% in the first phase and 5% in the second phase. But for FundedNext here, you can see that you have an 8% target for phase 1 and then a 4% target for phase 2. For the daily loss, you're looking at 5% for FundingPips and 5% for the 5ers and only 4% for FundedNext. The max loss is 10% for FundingPips, 10% for the 5ers, and then 8% for FundedNext. And you can see here that the FundedNext account has slightly less drawdown than the 5ers and FundingPips. Now for profit split, each firm is going to offer an 80% profit split, and in terms of their payout frequency, for FundingPips, you can change it up. You can have a Tuesday 60% split, which is going to be your weekly, and then you can have your bi-weekly, which is an 80% split, an on-demand, which is a 90% split, and then the monthly, which is 100% split. For the 5ers, it's going to be 14 days. Then for the FundedNext, the first payout is 21 days, then 14 days. They have on-demand available anytime if you hit 5% and above, and you can request a withdrawal immediately, available until the 8th of August. So in terms of the price, you're going to be looking at about $396.75 if you use code MATCH at checkout. For FundingPips, you're going to be looking at about $517.75 if you use code MATCH at checkout, and then $399 is what you're going to be looking at for this FundedNext 100K account. Now that we've seen how the challenges actually stack up against each other, let's take a look at what traders have to say about each individual firm. I'll be looking at the prop firm match review page to do this comparison. So for trading conditions, the 5ers was rated at a 4.8. For FundedNext, they were rated at a 4.3, and for FundingPips, they were rated at a 4.2. For customer care, the 5ers were rated at a 4.8, FundedNext was rated at a 4.5, and FundingPips was rated at a 4.3. Now, for their user friendliness, the 5ers came in at a 4.7 rating, FundedNext came closely behind with a 4.6 rating, and likewise with FundingPips, they came in with a 4.6 rating as well. So for their payout process, the 5ers got a 4.7 rating, FundedNext got a 4.5 rating, and FundingPips got a 4.4. Now let's take a look at some of the most important rules that you're going to need to know when trading with these individual firms. Now we're going to start off with the 5ers here, and if you click on the 5ers, you can get to this overview where you can see all of the different rules on prop firm match. Now for a consistency rule, this firm does not have a consistency rule, but they do have a news trading rule. So for their news trading, it says their hyper growth in their boot camp allowed except for bracket strategies around news. For their high stakes account, which is the account that we were looking at, executing orders 2 minutes before and 2 minutes after high impact news is strictly prohibited. So now let's take a look at some of their bootcamp rules. It says a stop loss is mandatory for all positions and orders and must be set within 3 minutes of placement. Stop loss is required for all positions and orders. It says the stop loss must not risk more than 2% of your account balance per position, and then there is a 3% daily pause. It's a soft breach and it applies during the funded stage. Opening a position without a stop loss order or risking more than 2% of the account balance in a single position will be considered a risk violation. 5 risk violations will lead to an automatic account termination. So for their prohibited practices, one-sided bets, it says taking consistent positions in a single direction without considering market conditions, exploitation of price discrepancies, arbitrage, and trading bracketed strategies by placing pending orders around high impacting news, exploiting system errors such as price displays, inaccuracies, or update delays. So now we're going to take a look at FundingPips rules. So for their consistency rules, it says applicable only for FundingPips 0 accounts. So it says your biggest winning day must not exceed more than 50% of your total profit. You must maintain at least a 15% consistency score in order to request a reward. Now for their firm rules, it says their maximum single position loss risk is capped at 1% per trade idea, and it applies only to the FundingPips 0 accounts. The 3% rule, no single loss should exceed more than 3% of your account. Splitting up a trade into multiple positions will be counted as one single trade. Opening a new position in the same direction within 5 minutes after closing a losing trade is considered a part of the same trade idea as well. It's very important to know. It says above is only applicable for the 1-step, 2-step, and 2-step pro models. So for their news trading rule on their 1-step, 2-step, and 2-step pro on the evaluation phase, it is allowed on the funded accounts. Profits from trades open less than 5 hours before and close 5 minutes before or after high impacting news will not be counted. It says note, traders who choose the on-demand reward cycle for 1-step and 2-step models will be allowed to trade during the news without any restrictions. For their FundingPips 0 account, news trading is strictly prohibited. For their minimum profitable days, you have to have 7 profitable days by the end of each 30-day. Failure to meet this requirement by the end of the 30-day period will result in rule violation applicable only to the FundingPips 0 accounts. And then for their forbidden strategies, it says gap trading, server spamming, latency arbitrage, hedging, long-short arbitrage, reverse arbitrage, server execution, and opposite account trading are strictly prohibited. Now we're going to take a look at FundedNext Rules. For their consistency rule, there is no consistency rule for any of the programs. For their minimum trading days, FundedNext minimum trading day requirements vary by challenge type. It says the Stellar Light and the Stellar 2-step challenges require a minimum of 5 trading days. The Stellar 1-step challenge requires a minimum of 2 trading days. And for FundedNext accounts, there is no minimum trading day required for Stellar Light, the Stellar 1-step, and the Stellar 2-step challenges. The Stellar Instant, there's no minimum trading days. For their news trading, it is allowed on the Stellar Instant, the Stellar Light accounts with restrictions. Trades executed 5 minutes before and after high impact news events are subject to a 40% profit split rule. So they do have a maximum risk at a time rules for the funded accounts only. It says funded accounts are expected to follow a 3% per trade guideline, where risk is the maximum potential loss on a trade based on stop loss placement. No stop loss within 3 minutes counts as 100% risk. Breaking the guideline leads to a profit reduction, 50% on the first violation, 100% on the second violation, and eventually placement into a disciplined trader program on the third violation. For their key rules, you must use the same trading strategy and method during both the challenge and the funded account. Switching between them is not allowed. You cannot change asset classes or significantly increase risk or margin usage after passing the challenge. Your trading style must remain consistent. Traders flagged for risky behavior must risk no more than 1% per trade across all positions, use stop losses, and follow disciplined risk management. Violations may lead into account terminations and profit deductions. It says use a single device with a unique IP address to avoid any complications, and account rolling is strictly prohibited. Buying multiple evaluations to sacrifice some while passing others is considered high risk, luck-based tactics that violates FundedNext principles of skill and responsible trading. Violations may lead to restrictions on new purchases or lifetime allocation limits. And for today's giveaway question, comment which prop firm challenge you plan on trading next. Understanding these challenges and rule differences can help you pick the best prop firm for your trading style. Some traders like to go with flexibility and others with structure constraints if the other benefits are strong. So the question remains, what is the best prop firm in 2026? This answer depends on your trading goals, preferences, and your budget, and there's no one size fits all. That's why we've developed Prop Firm Match to help you choose which firm is the right firm for you. So if you enjoyed this video and you found it helpful, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video with somebody who you think might benefit from watching it. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.